Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Great. Okay.
Yep.
Yep. Brilliant. Well, thank you for letting us interview you, Bishop Samuel. And, thank you for coming to visit us in St James's Church. I know you've had a little bit of a tour around the area. You've already been down to the school. But in the service today, we're thinking a little bit about the church around the world. So I'm going to ask you some questions to do with that. And some of these have come from some of the people you've already met today. I wonder if I can ask you to start with, have you been to England before?
Yes, this is my third time.
Third time.
I spent 6 months in 2005 in the Diocese of Salisbury as a youth pastor.
Okay.
Yes.
Right, okay. So it's not all new to you today.
No. Then I came back 2 years ago as a bishop. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Visited the Diocese of Salisbury as well.
So you've had a bit of experience of England.
A little bit, yes. Yeah.
What would you say is your favourite thing about England?
My favorite thing about England is, in general, is about how people here keep history.
Okay.
How people will preserve history and keep the tradition. So I like that a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Like I say, we're thinking a bit about the church around the world, and I wonder if you'd be able to tell us briefly maybe a bit about the church in Sudan?
Yes, the church in Sudan is growing rapidly.
Okay.
And I think part of the reason why the church in Sudan is growing rapidly is because of the persecution of Christians that has been there, the oppression that has been going for Christians in the Sudan. That has made it, I think, the faith to grow more. And I think also in the Bible, when there is persecution, Christianity is spread widely and the faith of people become more stronger. So it is a growing church, and we have 4 to 5 million people who are Anglicans in the Sudan, and the church is growing. There's a lot of youth within the church, a lot of various ministries within the church, and church services. Main church services will go to about 3 hours.
Right, okay.
And compared to 1 hour
Yeah.
or 59 minutes, as you
Yeah.
say it here. Yes.
Great. Is it still difficult for the church in the Sudan at the moment, for where your diocese is?
Yeah, it is still difficult. The things that make it difficult is that the situation in which the church is now. The church has remained as the only infrastructure within South Sudan.
Okay.
Because our government has been concentrating in war and fighting for freedom and all that. But the church has been left in a position to do more than it can afford to do.
Okay.
To provide health services, to provide education, to find things to do with development, and also advocate for peace. And we realize that many people are traumatized across the society, either those who are in position in the government, those who are also, given responsibility are not doing their work well because of the trauma. Even the people many people have not been able to educate themselves. They cannot read or write. My brother is 27 years old. He cannot read, he cannot write. When he gets a letter, he has to take it to somebody to read it for him. And it is a pity. And because of that, people are not able to have education, jobs, because they don't know how to read.
That's interesting what you were saying about your brother not being able to read, but you speak very eloquently and you can read. Can you tell us maybe a little bit about your journey of how that...
Yeah, I am a son of a retired priest.
Okay.
I'm now in the cathedral in Yambio.
Okay.
And I went to school, first to government school, which means I went to an Arabic school where every subject is taught in Arabic, which is the national language in Sudan. And then also in my 5th year, I went to a mission school, which is a church school, and where English is taught, and Arabic is taught only as a subject. And that is where I went. And because my parents are also priests, I didn't want to serve in the church at all. Because for us in the Sudan, the priests are not paid, bishops are not paid. So because they are not paid and I have many brothers and sisters, I thought I would work for the government to serve and help my brothers to study. And my testimony is that when I just finished my high school to go to university in Khartoum, war broke and I was cut off from Khartoum and I couldn't go to Khartoum to study. So it was a very hard time for me, 2 years of real struggle within myself. And that is when I realized God's call for me to the ministry. And that is where I have been really been able to begin to serve. I went to Bible college in English, so that helped me a little bit. I went to another college, and then I went to the university later in the US to do a master's. And then I'm still learning English, because when I'm at home, I don't speak English. And then when I go somewhere else where Zande or Arabic is not spoken, then I begin to speak English. It is a bit of a challenge. But my brother actually was kidnapped during the war when he was 12 and recruited in the army. We couldn't hear about him for 3 good years. And he came back, he's a soldier, but his life is miserable, he has been traumatized. But we tried to counsel him. Now we have a wife for him, and then they have 3 children. And I think his life is improving. But he can't read, he can't write. It's a pity.
I think you've already told us some amazing things about what the church is getting involved with in Sudan, with healthcare and with schools. I wonder if you could tell us maybe some of the similarities between the churches in the Sudan and England, any things that you've sort of noticed that actually that's quite similar, or maybe things that are really different.
The different thing, I begin with is, what I admire here is there are so many good buildings, church buildings, so many concrete buildings. And there in the Sudan, it is very rare. I have, in the Diocese of Nzara, 163 churches and chapels included, which are divided into 33 parishes in 4 archdeaconries. Only one of those churches is iron roof. All the rest is grass thatch. All the rest we have to keep on to renew the grass every other year because the ants eat it quickly, they like it. And that is one of the differences. We admire the churches here and the work that people did to build those churches. We in the Sudan are working hard to see how we can make our own bricks and see how we can seek our friends here, how they can help us get cement, get iron roof, get nails, or pay experts to build those things for us. And I think there are so many other things we do there, which what we call ministry, in the outreach ministry. When people die within the community, the church goes to the homes. We don't have to bring the dead body to the church for prayers, but the whole church goes there. The funeral service takes place there. It is to encourage the bereaved family. And then the youth will stay overnight to pray and sing songs. Mother's Union will be there. And that is what we do.
Right.
We take the church, the people.
Great. Brilliant. One of the things I've been wondering about is how the church in the Sudan and the church in England and the UK can support each other. I don't know if you have any ideas how we can be supporting each other.
First and foremost is the churches need to pray for one another. That is really important. Second is the Christians and Christian leaders need to visit each other, so that when you visit one another, then you are able to learn more about each other's faith, so that you are able to find ways in which you can support other things. We can, in terms of how we support each other. The visits help us either to bring evangelism, to bring ministry to one another, and also monetary support is also welcomed in ways which we can afford.
In the service where this video is going to be played, we hope there's going to be a number of children there. I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this question. So there'll be lots of children. I think maybe they might wonder what the difference would be for the life of a child, of maybe a 6, 7 or 8-year-old in Sudan, how it would be different to their life here.
Children, then of course environment matters. The environment in which someone grows builds the kind of future that person will be, because it paints the worldview. Our children really will go to school, those who are closer, those who are able to go to school. But our children will be part of Sunday school. Sunday school, for example, the church where the cathedral, we have over 70 Sunday school children. These are children between the age of 7 and 11.
Okay.
And then they come here 3 times a week.
Right, okay.
To learn how to sing a song on Sunday. That is why our services on Sundays will not only be 1 hour, it goes to 3 hours. Or if there is any occasion, it goes to 4, 5 hours services. Christmas is 5 hours. Okay. Because the various groups which have spent each time to come for practice on Mondays, on Wednesday or Thursday, and then Saturday night, they have to present to the congregation. And by that, the churches are kept always packed by young people, because they take active part in the service, and they do all they can to participate. And each group wants to do it better. There's adult choir, there is the youth choir, there is Mothers Union choir, there is Sunday school choir, there is evangelist choir, all these choir,
So when you have them all there at the same time, there's a lot of choir.
And they are all there every Sunday. They are all there every Sunday. And that is why we have many. I tried as a youth pastor to try to limit them to 10 minutes. But it doesn't always be. They want to even double the 10 minutes each group. And if there are 3 groups, it is already 1 hour. That is gone.
Does that mean you have to have very short sermons?
Sometimes yes. And sometimes there are people also bring longer sermons as well. So it depends on who is the preacher.
One of the school teachers took me aside after you'd done assembly and asked me a question. They said, you must ask Bishop Samuel. And I think she might have asked you yourself, but we can ask so everyone else can hear. And she said, can I come and visit?
That is the way I've already said in our partnership. In our partnership, as Christians, we pray for one another, but we visit one another. And the visit will help us know how to support each other better. In Sudan and South Sudan in particular, where I come from, there is a lot of need for trainings. For when people come from here who are knowledgeable in any field, it can be health, it can be counseling, it can be education. They come and they are able to provide their expert. You can take it for a few days, for weeks, for months. We have had people staying as far as 1 year. We have others staying for 9 months. We have others staying for 3 months. It depends on what you would like to do. We welcome that, because by that, our faith is enriched by their witness to the community. So if any person is welcome.
So any person, whatever skills they've got,
we can benefit from it. That is also another thing with this partnership, which we can share knowledge.
Great. Well, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for coming to visit us in Alderholt. I hope people watching this have learned a little bit about the church, and we'll continue to pray for you and continue to pray for us as well.
Thank you very much too.
Thank you.
Because you have invited me, you have warmly welcomed me into your community and into your church, and I'm really grateful, especially this week that we celebrate the 40th anniversary of our relationship with the Diocese of Salisbury. We hope this will continue to grow and grow deeper.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers. Yeah.
Thank you. Cheers. Okay.
Okay.
Lovely.
Thank you very much.
Hey,
Now
so
what do I press to stop?
Sorry?
What do I press to stop?
Just press the record button again.
All right.